Kevin.
Hey, 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 it's Amber.
And Kristen.
And today we are going to be talking about the Kentucky Motorcycle Association, KBA, KMA.
Kentucky Bikers, Kentucky Motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going to give people a few minutes to join because unfortunately I was a little late today. So
imagine that.
Sorry, I had an appointment, my bad. But we were going to talk about the Kentucky Motorcycle Association, what we do, what we're here for, kind of what the Kentucky Motor KMA. I'll just say KMA because that's because that was way too difficult for me. But what they're about, what we do, kind of on our rides, and just the fun we have.
Mm-hmm. Now, also, just so everybody knows that, and I don't know if anybody even thinks this way or not, but the Kentucky Motorcycle Association is not an MC. It's not a club. It is an association.
Yes.
It's for really biker enthusiasts.
Yes.
Enthusiasts.
If you love motorcycles and you are looking for a group to get with, that what we do basically is we fight for bikers' rights. I know a lot of people are one way or the other about helmet laws, but we fight for you to have the option to either wear or not wear your helmet, which I don't wear a helmet. People have their opinions. That's fine. But that's one of the things we fight for. We had been last year working with the hands-free law because so many bikers, unfortunately, are getting hit by cars and wrecked by cars.
Last year was probably...
It was horrible.
It was horrible.
Every week.
Yes. It seemed like every time we turned around, there was another biker that was down.
That's another funeral we were going to.
Because, or somebody else in the hospital.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I went to the hospital.
Vehicles were not paying attention to the bikers on the road. And they say, look twice, save a life. Save a life, look twice.
Yep.
And that's all you have to do. Like, a motorcycle is a lot smaller than a vehicle. And I think people just get in a hurry. They do not pay attention to their surroundings. And during riding season, it's extremely dangerous for the riders when that happens.
Well, and I think I had mentioned this before, but instead of playing slug bug, have your kids look for motorcycles. So they're looking for smaller vehicles. Because I'm not even innocent. I've had a bike come up on my SUV and I didn't see them. They were in my blind spot. And had my sensor not gone off in my mirror, I would have never known he was there because A, I listen to my music extremely loud, and B, my vehicle has the noise canceling.
Right.
So I can't hear.
Canceling.
I said counseling. Oh, Jesus. But I mean, so, and it is statistically proven that, vehicles are the ones that cause the wrecks most of the time.
And it is, but just like you said, you had a bike come up behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the rider's responsibility also. Like, we're not here to say, oh, all riders are perfectly innocent in any way. No, that's not the case. If you are a rider, then yes, it is your responsibility to be safe.
Maintain your bike.
Yes. Know
what you're doing.
Know not to get too close to vehicles. But I won't say 9 times out of 10.
I think it was like 60-something%. I'll actually look it up real quick. Because I had been doing some research on this only because I got into a debate with somebody on the internet and they were like, oh, motorcycles, they're so dangerous. People ride them like idiots. There are so many. And let me tell you, the people, like, everybody speeds. I mean, that's not just a motorcycle thing, but the people that weave in and out of traffic and everything else, if they go down, that's on them. That is not your fault. If they can't drive like they've got a brain, then that's their own fault.
You got to be safe on them too. Respect. You got to respect them. and that's it. And my husband always says it's not a matter of if you're going to wreck, it's a matter of when you're going to wreck. But I mean, if you are alert and you pay attention and you respect the machine that you're on, then those chances are a lot less.
Well, and most of us do it as like a therapy. I know I love being on the bike. Listening to learn something. Wave. Now my squirrel, it took off.
You were looking for the percentages.
Oh, I know what I'm doing here, but I was saying something.
Oh, wave. You just said wave.
Oh, no. T said she's listening to learn.
Oh, then I don't know what you were talking about.
I have no idea. Went out of my head. But if somebody is being reckless on their motorcycle, just know that is not who we're talking about. If that person, and I'm not talking about speeding because everybody speeds. If you don't speed, you go under the speed limit. And that's just as dangerous.
Especially on a bike.
But those are not who, when we talk about looking twice, yes, you should watch for them. But if they're doing 100 and they're coming down a road and you pull out in front of them, that is their fault. Because if that speed limit is 45 and you are going that fast, you don't give a shit.
Or I've seen several on online and I guess they think it's cool or funny, I don't know, but where they weave in and out and they barely miss the mirror of the vehicle that they're
when they split lanes.
They do that.
In some states, I think in Kentucky it's not legal, but it's not illegal. It's one of those like if the cop wants to be an asshole, he'll get you. But I think only time lane splitting really is necessary is like at a red light. And I don't mean go all the way up to the front of the red light. I mean, get on the line and get between two vehicles. That way you're not the last vehicle in line.
Yeah.
That way you have a getaway if you need it. Because if somebody hits somebody or somebody hits you, you have nowhere to go.
Right.
And you don't have that protection of a cage around you, which a lot of motorcyclists call vehicles cagers. But it's true. You don't have that cage around you. You are out and open because a helmet only saves your head. And leather only saves you from road rash. So you still break. I mean,
bones. Yeah. But again, we'll get back on subject with the Kentucky Motorcycle Association. And this weekend is why we decided to talk about this today, because this weekend in Rough River, they're doing the Freedom Fighters conference with the KBA. And there's going to be guest speakers, legislators, they'll be talking about legislation laws, because we do have, the KBA does have lobbyists that goes to Frankfort and Washington. Frankfort, I guess, really not Washington.
We talk to state level and stuff, and if people, it's kind of a trickle down effect. Anybody that will listen, and you're going to find a pattern in who we speak to more. However, those are the people that reach back out. Every single person that runs for an office is spoke to or tried, left messages and stuff. Now, whether or not that person communicates back, that's not our fault.
That's on them.
But I think this is important. 28 motorcyclists are 28 more times likely to die in a crash. I'm still looking for the statistics. Go ahead.
Okay. So Freedom Fighters this weekend. If anyone is...
Oh, that's the next page.
Oh, okay.
Because I was going to talk about KMA first.
We're going to do KMA first. Okay. So KMA, KBA, Kentucky Motorcycle Association, began in 1982 in Kentucky. Now, I did look this up because me and you were talking about this yesterday. I haven't been able to find anything on other states. So I don't know if there is necessarily...
I spoke to Tommy. There is not anything. So Tommy Williams is our state president, but there's nothing like what we have. But they have
in other states.
Yes, but they have. He calls it.
Now I found the American Motorcycle Association.
It is a state's motorcycle rights organization, is what they have. So
states.
They have SMROs. So it's an organization. It's like but it's not like the KBA. So, or we have different districts and that kind of stuff. It's more of a state thing.
Mhm.
So, because like our districts, the way the districts run with the KMA is there's several counties.
through-
It's
19 chapters is what
yeah,
you've
there's
got here.
19 chapters, but there's several counties in one district. So our district has 3 counties.
Mhm.
But-
Nelson, LaRue, and
Hardin.
Hardin.
But there is some districts that have a few more, I believe. But they we all do the same thing. Our district is, I think, the most active district. But we've also had the state president with us, and we
And he's been a part of the KBA for years.
yeah, he's been in the KBA for a very long time. And the state president for quite a while as well. But he was our district president all the way up until last year. And we do so much for the community. For Christmas, we have Jerry's Kids Ride for, to collect for kids for Christmas. And we support several kids. But
they also do the somebody who may be, sick or
if we've had a
been in the
biker go down
hospital or something like that,
Mhm.
then there's always a benefit ride for them.
very, very touchy when it comes to kids. If a kid needs help. But then,
There's the June bug ride that is, of course, every June.
June. But all of our rides kind of have a end goal, and it's, fellowship and it's just the love for the ride. Yes, they collect money. We always donate the money, and it's very, very vocal about where that money is going to go. And
the KBA is set up with officers. There is the director, the vice director, co-director, however you want to put it, treasurer, and secretary.
And then the sergeant at arms as well. And every one of those people, they don't get paid. They volunteer their time to help this organization. So
because it's everybody who's involved in this cares about their rights to be able to ride freely how they want to ride. Because like you said, I mean, it's about the ride. Like that's what we enjoy to do, is to get out on the open road and ride without, I know like when you go to Tennessee, Tennessee is a helmet state. So you have to wear a helmet in Tennessee.
I cannot find the statistics right now. All I can find is that vehicles cause more wrecks against motorcycles.
Where else have we rode? We've rode in Florida. Florida is not a helmet state. What other states? I don't think Ohio.
North Carolina, I think, is a helmet.
Is a helmet state.
But, and don't get me wrong, and I've heard this, so it pisses me off that you're an organ donor if you don't wear your helmet. But that helmet is not going to be what saves you. It may cause you from not getting a brain injury, but that is not going to be what saves you. Like, I have seen so many people,
or it's 50-50. I mean, to me, it's kind of like a seat belt, and yes, I know we have seatbelt laws and everything, but again,
oh, you do.
It's 50-50.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a choice.
I abided by them.
Right? Well, and I have gotten into a wreck where I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. I was a little bit younger, but I didn't have my seatbelt on, and of course, back then your seatbelt thing didn't
ding constantly like yours does.
Yeah, mine goes off constantly and tattletales on everybody. But I almost got thrown out of the window, and it wasn't a rollover or nothing. It was just a collision, and it was enough to take me out of my seat. So I'm firm on my seatbelt, but it is because that's what makes me feel safe. Now, not wearing it makes you feel safe.
My husband was just in a wreck 2 years ago, and will be 2 years February, and he did not have his seatbelt on, and I swear I think that's what saved his life.
I do
because
too.
he was able to be slung from the vehicle
because his truck was demolished.
That ultimately crushed. Yeah,
his truck
crushed
was demolished.
So I think that is what saved his life, was that he was able to be
to get away from the truck.
yeah, to get out of it.
So the KMA began in 1982, and it was not known as the KMA at first. I did not write down what it was known as, but it became the KMA a few years later, which it was the same thing. It just, the name evolved.
Mhm.
And then it was KMA, KBA, so that everybody felt included in that. So some of the laws the KBA and KMA has been involved in is the rider education program, helmet laws, red light laws awareness, enforcement of existing anti-discrimination laws. So we have a city that a lot of us don't like riding in because if you have our vest on, they like to come after you.
If you have any vest on,
Yeah,
if you
they don't like
have
bikes in their
leather
community.
on, period.
Yeah, they
I
don't
mean,
like.
and let's just throw this out here. We're not the freaking Sons of Anarchy, guys.
Mm-mm.
That's not what it is.
No.
They're just people who like to ride motorcycles.
I mean, the one run we were on, we ran in, we had stopped at a place out in the middle of nowhere, and there was 2 horses, and I went up and was loving on the horses. I went away from the bikes and went up and loved on horses. So, I mean, and kids love to sit on the bikes and stuff. If you have a kid that likes to sit on a bike, find a biker. They, as long as you're respectful, they do not mind.
Oh, and you know what? I've also seen more people will say that they have actually told their children if they're out somewhere, because you know
Find
a
a
lot
biker.
of if they're lost or something,
Mhm.
like at fairs or carnivals, I don't know, anywhere
And the
you're out,
biggest, meanest looking
find
biker.
the biggest, meanest looking biker,
Or the smallest, feistiest one.
and you know they're going to protect you.
Yeah, you will be like,
They're going to protect you. They turn into a instant
you
teddy
will see a
bear.
totally different person than what we're used to. Which, I mean, we ride with some pretty big dudes, and you're safe.
And they're not mean.
No, they're not mean. They look it though, but I mean, look at my face half the time.
It just cracks me up when people see motorcycles, and that's
their first reaction.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
And just to go ahead and throw this out here too, because honestly, that at one point, the town that we live in, because again, we film at Long Branch, which is I don't want to call it a biker bar because
It's not, but it is.
yeah,
All the bikers, we all feel
we're a
welcome here.
destination.
Yeah.
We'll say that. We're a biker's destination. So during riding season out front, our building is full of bikes that, you know, they just come, they love the ride. It's a beautiful ride to get here, no matter which direction you're coming from. And that intimidated the town.
Oh, I know.
And the town really did not.
They did not like that.
They did not like it. But on the flip side of that, I don't think that some of the town people or like the city hall people was approached in a way to where it was, hey, you know, be a part of us, not against us.
Yeah.
Be with us, not against us. So when my husband and I bought Long Branch, that was like our goal, was to let that be known, you know, that we're not the bad. Yeah. We're not bad. And it's made a world of difference since that's happened. It's made a world of difference.
And don't get us wrong, there are mean people that ride bikes.
Oh yeah, but that's a whole other subject, a whole other day.
Yeah, that is. But we're talking about just like the KMA and most bikers.
Yeah.
Biker
enthusiasts. That's what. Yeah.
Because I've honestly not ran into a mean biker. I really haven't. So the gossip and the drama, but that's the females. But
some of the men can do that.
Yeah, some of the men gossip more than the females. So the KMA is very active in elections and bills moving through both the Kentucky legislature and the U.S. Congress. So anything that is going to be helpful for motorcycles or it makes it safer for us to be on the bike, that is where we stand. So local riders conduct poker runs, fun runs, and general fun runs. Fund runs and general fun runs to support bonding and fellowship amongst area riders. So we have people, I say we, I'm not an owner of Long Branch. I just am with her, with Long Branch Talks. But when I say we, it's just me. But there are bikes that have come in here that are from nowhere near here. Nowhere near.
We actually have a few that come from Tennessee every year.
There
That
was some from North Carolina not too long ago.
mhm. They come, but the ones from Tennessee, they make this like a yearly thing. They love to come. They love to ride down through here again. No matter what direction you're coming from, the roads, because there are a lot of back roads, you know. So the roads are beautiful. It was beautiful scenery, because that is what
that's what you ride for.
Yeah, that's what the
That's
bikers
what's so
like to ride.
relaxing. We
We
don't
try
like
to
hitting
stay off
interstate.
the highways.
Well, and I was going to say, and it's not even because you and I are good friends. This bar has so much history. And when we say you come as a friend, leave as family, that is so true because I mean, well, we're a perfect example of that. You get to know people and it just becomes a family. And you know, there's bad in everything, but in Long Branch, it's just, I love it here.
It's a little hole in the wall place. Again, that's why people like to travel here to see it, because it is.
She says that, but there's been movies and videos, and we just had a video shot here, music video shot that we were in. We were just in a movie a few months back.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I mean, the history of Long Branch is just,
it's amazing.
It's awesome.
It's really amazing.
So,
and again, it is an old timey saloon. Like when you pull up, you're going to be like, oh my gosh.
There's even saloon doors. So to become a part of the KMA KBA, there is a yearly due of $20 in the love of motorcycles and riders. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that's part of the KMA, but if you are a couple, it's $30. So if you sign up together,
yes,
it's $30.
That is because that's what we did. Just did.
Told you.
I know. I should have done what you did.
But you live and you learn. That way it kind of makes it easier on a couple. And there is benefits to being a part of the KBA. We've already discussed this, but the KMA KBA is an association. We are not an MC. We are not an RC. It says, we stand for all motorcyclists. We gladly welcome any riders to stand with us to fight for our rights. So if you come and you're patched in with another MC and there's another MC here, this isn't the place. And the KMA is going to back all of you.
Mutual.
The KMA has played middleman several times to help a dispute going on, to keep us out of a dispute, because we are not an MC. But
Ellen, you said, because I mean, you can see the KMA, because here is the patch. That
we went and got my vest.
Yeah, the KMA vest. So the KMA does have a patch. It is, a patched association as well. But again, it is an association. It is not an MC. It is not an RC.
We do not have. We do not have the little bars. Is that what they call them? The shoot. I just had the worst brain fart because I know what it's called, but we don't have the other patches. We aren't a 3-patch. We just have the 1 patch. Some districts do have another patch, but it's very obvious that it's the KMA. And I mean, we've had to discuss with, we went into a place to buy some stuff, and the man there was not happy with our vest at first because he thought we were an MC, and we explained to him what we done. He goes, "Oh, I've heard of the KBA." And I'm like, if you would have just read the patch, instead of just
but
attacking.
A lot of people see leathers and they see a patch.
Rockers.
And
we don't have rockers.
Oh.
I was like, God, I know the word. Lifesaver.
But a lot of people, they see the leathers, they see the patch, and it's the assumptions.
And if you want to join the KMA, you can either show up to a meeting.
Now with our district, which is District 12, the Hogtown district, it is every third Sunday
at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock every month.
12 o'clock.
Not every third Sunday.
It's
the third Sunday of every month at 1 o'clock.
Except for this month, we're not having one because we have freedom fighters. But you can either do that or you can call. There's also a website for. All you have to do is type in Kentucky Motorcycle Association, and that site will pull up. And that is an easy way to get a hold of the district, either district or the state. And find out what you need to do, what district you're in. It will show you counties of each district. So you will know which district you would technically belong to. But we have other people that come from Bullitt County. And
yeah, you've got 19 on here. I didn't even realize that there was that many.
Yes, there is 19 chapters made up solely of volunteers. and they take volunteers. If you have talent in anything, as far as with the motorcycles and stuff, it is helpful to have those volunteers.
Mhm.
I know when we do 50/50s or anything, I'm voluntold that I'm doing them, which I don't mind.
I love the voluntold.
So, which I don't mind. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the fellowship. I enjoy being around everybody because while I'm not a personable person to people I don't know, the people we ride with, I get close to, and I'm known as the person that always takes all the pictures. So I have people on my Facebook
Well, I think
that
that's
have
you
no
in
idea that
general. I think
Yeah.
that's you in general. I think
kinda-
that's you because I've stolen a bunch of your pictures off that you've
yeah, I
posted
take
and
a lot of
stuff.
pictures and a lot of videos of us riding and things because they're just I that is my love. So
Mhm.
I enjoy it so much. But to talk about the Freedom Fighters Forum, so it starts today and Sunday. Every January, there is the Kentucky Freedom Fighters Forum. So what we do is a one-day event, brings bikers from across the state, along with lawmakers from Frankfort and Washington, D.C., to share ideas and thoughts of the upcoming legislative season. That I have
Say
been
that
tongue,
10 times
I've been
fast.
tongue-tied all morning. It's been rough. So, but
You know, I can't say that word anyway. So
legislative,
yeah, legislator. I can say that.
legislative.
Legislative. If I say it slow,
Well, I can't even say it, so if it makes you feel better, I don't even know what I said a while ago.
say it really fast, and you won't have to worry about it.
Right. So anything that comes up that affects bikers or can affect bikers, KMA is going to get involved in. And we talk. When I say we, I mean the district directors, the vice directors. Our vice director is very into the politics, knows everything going on. Every meeting,
very, very informative. Very
every meeting we discuss anything going on in the political arena, so that we kind of know what's going to affect the bikes. And Justin put up the website for you all.
If you want to go check it
so,
out,
and
the www.kmakba.com.
And Butto, which is right on here, it's a very informative event. Yes, it is. So the events for the 2025 Freedom Fighters Forum is networking with riders from across the state, speakers from county, state, and federal lawmaking bodies, speeches from experienced riders, silent auction, memorial service for the fallen riders. So the fallen riders will be read out by the director, and there is a bell that's rung.
Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing.
Yes.
I think that's amazing that they acknowledge the ones that we've lost.
And that's even if you're not even a part of the KBA. It's just if somebody you love that's on motorcycles has passed away.
Mm-hmm.
The Freedom Fighters Forum yearly award ceremony, and the keynote speaker this year is Dick Gilmore, and his road name is Slider. And then, so past speakers that have been at this forum is the U.S. Secretary of State Elaine. I'm going to butcher her name. And then Slider was there as well. Chow, I believe.
Yeah.
The Secretary of State Michael Adams, the U.S. Congressman James Comer. U.S. Congressman Brett Guthrie and Daniel Cameron was there last year, which it is very. I honestly enjoyed myself last year. Because it is a packed room full of your brothers and sisters, basically.
So this is going to be the first year that me and Jimmy go to it, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see. We never went to it before just because he's not a crowd.
Which Jimmy is now the treasurer for District 12. Yes. So congratulations to him.
But he's never liked being in the crowd. This time he really has no option to go, and because I'm his support human, I have no option to go. So,
well, and
it's fine. Like, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be able to go and see what it's about and everything. I do watch the videos that they post. Like you said, I love the ringing of the bells. I think that's awesome.
And there's Facebook pages for the districts that you can look up. Ours is District 12 Hawktown. And you can get on there, and they do lives, they do recordings and stuff, and they post it, and it's special. It's especially when they do the ringing of the bell, everybody sits still, everybody's quiet.
It's very respectful, and that's something, that's something else you will find in the biker community is respect. Like when you're on the bike, you have that respect from each other. You have that
Except for
brotherhood,
crotch
the
rockets. Nobody likes crotch
sisterhood.
rockets.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
kidding. They think that
I was gonna
Harley
say,
riders don't like them.
we still have, yes, we still have several that come down here though, and they've gone on rides with us and
Mhm.
stuff. They now, my younger self, I used to love getting on the back of a crotch rocket. Myself now, no way, and it's not happening.
Well, even because I have a bad lower back, even when we're on long rides on ours,
Mhm.
we have to stop periodically at like a gas station or something just so I can get off the bike and stretch my legs because my legs will go numb.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, I can't stand just yet because if I try to get on, I'm going
You're
straight to
gonna
the
go down,
ground.
straight down, yeah.
So, and then sometimes I'll just wrap my leg around my husband and
And
put
then
my foot on the gas tank.
we also have people that are a part of the KBA that don't necessarily ride. I
Yeah.
think there's several that have been a part
They're
of the
just
KBA.
supportive of what we do.
Yeah, and they will actually follow the rides in their vehicles.
Yeah, we
They're
we
like
have several
support
rides,
vehicles.
and that's what on our rides we have blockers and stuff that'll block the roads. Which, if you don't agree with it, I don't care. We're gonna make it safe for the bikers. But we make sure that when we're on our rides for District 12, our blockers go out ahead. We block ahead of time. That way, the bikes never have to stop, and we make sure the cars see us. Hey, there's a ride going on. And if you ever see a group of bikers like that, and there is a bike blocking the road, just know we're raising money for something or somebody. And a lot of the times it's a child that we're doing that for. And just be patient.
Don't be that person that tries to go around. Oh
Yes,
my
because
God.
we've had a truck cut in the middle of a ride one time, and he just had no respect at all. Wind is wind, whatever y'all ride. Exactly. So, I mean, one of our best friends rides a Spider. And we ride backpacks, so we can't bitch about what anybody rides.
Yeah.
We just ride what we're on. So we ride whatever our husband rides. I forgot. I have had the worst squirrel mind today. Like really bad.
You did yesterday too, though.
Yes. I don't know what is going on with me.
You stopped to read Butta's comment, and that was it.
But with the KMA though, when we go on rides, we block ahead. And then our director, vice director, anybody, the sergeant arms, anybody that's on that ride, we don't let anybody get out of hand. If you want to act like an idiot, you're not welcome. Because our rides are safe. We actually have people come from all over to ride on our rides because they say they're some of the safest rides they've ever been on. And we take a lot of pride in that. That is something, that I will always brag about because we have almost had a car hit us last year on a poker run. Matter of fact, it was Mindy and Sean's ride. And we were raising money for... Yeah. And and that money goes
back into the ride itself.
Yes.
So it is completely 100% to the riders who want to come because that's something that they offer. It is to remember the
Trish knew where I was going with that. So when we were talking about, Trish said it's good to have cars or trucks follow in case bikes break down or something. You have a way to help them out. That's what I was getting at when I squirreled off. We usually have a truck with a trailer that'll follow us if we're going a farther distance. If not, there's always a truck and trailer that is readily available to get a bike off the road. If you break down during a ride, you will not be alone. Somebody will stop with you because most of the time we have blockers in the back and they will stop with you. So just keep that in mind. You won't be alone.
That's why I don't ride with my husband because a lot don't respect the bikers. That is exactly right.
Yeah, Christy West said that's why I don't ride with my husband because a lot don't respect the bikers. I thought you were talking about, I thought you were talking in general until I just read the comment. I thought you were talking. I was like, what? Sorry. We just both read the same thing. But it's true that, that there is no respect for bikes. We went in somewhere one time, and because I can only speak from personal experiences, I'm not going to talk for somebody else. But we went in somewhere one time, and we sat down to eat, and they were so rude. And I was like, I normally tip really good, but I think I'm going to back away from this person.
So we went because, again, it's been a while since we've been able to ride, and we did have to switch over to a truck because of my husband's injury and everything. But we went to the move-in wall for the
veterans,
Vietnam veterans in Shepherdsville. and that was absolutely amazing. Well, they had bikers and Jeeps that had escorted the wall in, and then they did like a little parade or whatever. Well, we didn't go all the way into to set it up with them. So we just kind of broke off to come back to town after that went through. And there was probably, I don't know, like maybe 5 or 6 of us that was together. We were all riding together. Typically in a bigger ride, like you said, there is a blocker. Now, when it is a smaller group like that, there's not necessarily a blocker.
Most people just kind of take it upon themselves to make sure everybody gets through safely.
So we had came to a stop sign. Again, you could tell that we were all together because when you stop at a stoplight, stop sign, whatever the case may be, you kind of bunch up. Yeah, you gather right there together because you're not big enough as nothing. But a couple of bikes had gone through and a truck cut us off, like would not let the rest of us come through with the group and separated us. And to me, I think that's just so disrespectful and rude and dangerous, like all of the above.
It's so much safer for bikes to be in a group.
Because you're more apt to be seen that way.
Well, and I was talking about, when we're on Poker Run and stuff and people block, like to be patient. But if 4 or 5 bikes pull up to a stop sign, let them all go. They are as big as your vehicle and they are together. That is how we get seen. My husband and I were going around the courthouse and this woman, I don't know what she was doing. We were right in her driver's door, just came over, like just to go her way, like did not care that we were there. Didn't. And
I wasn't even paying attention.
Well, we had a woman one time, we had a new rider with us. So we were in the back and this woman just came into the bike and
I'm trying to sneeze. Sorry.
Didn't apologize, Cal. Didn't apologize. And I knocked on her window while we were going down the road because I'm like, what the are you doing?
Yeah, we're here.
Because you see 10 bikes, like there was several of us, and she came in on a new rider. And of course they flipped out. And thankfully they did the right thing. They hit their brakes and they backed away from the car. So she didn't hit them, but she cut in the middle of us. I think we were going down Dixie Highway.
See, I hate that. That's very scary, especially with an inexperienced biker. I mean, it's scary when you're with a seasoned biker.
Yeah.
But much less one that's
And I think we've all pretty much gone down. We've had cars and vehicles, people that drive, they don't ride bikes. They don't understand that we take a little bit longer to stop. Just because it's a smaller vehicle does not mean we're going to stop quicker. Our tires are also small. That's how Justin and I wrecked. A car missed their turn. Hadn't missed it yet. They were going to. They slammed on their brakes. And we weren't riding their bumper. We were actually behind a bike staggered. Because in Kentucky, you stagger your bikes. If you're riding in a group, you stagger. But he, thankfully is experienced enough that he knew not to go into oncoming traffic. He went into the grass. We still wrecked because of those concrete culverts, he made us wreck.
Right.
So we didn't get hurt, but
that was better than hitting a vehicle.
And the car, she didn't even stop to make sure we were okay. It was not her fault. I mean, yes, she slammed on her brakes. But you would think you see me flying off a bike, you're going to stop and be like, are you all okay? No, just kept going. Didn't even turn either. She just kept going straight. I was like, and the poor people we wrecked in front of their house, I felt so bad.
Probably scared them.
Well, and I went back a few days later and I took her a thank you basket because they helped us, get the bike up and into their driveway and brought me an ice pack. They were sweet. And she goes, you're really going to get back on that bike? I said, it wasn't his fault. I mean,
when we go on rides, I love people like that. And when we go on rides, there's been so many times that people will come out of their house when they hear
and wave.
Yes,
I love
they
that.
stand in their yards or in their driveways and they're waving as we go by, because they hear that first bike and so they know
that we're coming.
Yeah, more's following, and they love coming out.
I love when we block in the first part of everything on between stops because when kids come outside, that is like my favorite. There is a picture of me when we were in the parade in Hodgenville to do the pledge and stuff that we did. I'm waving real big, and it's a little girl standing there, and she was so excited over the motorcycles, and I was just like, oh my gosh, because my kids love motorcycles, and we let them get on the Harley and rev it up, and we'll pick them up at the end of the driveway. They sit between me and my husband. I no longer let them ride, unfortunately, because it's just gotten so dangerous. But I mean, kids love motorcycles.
They do.
And then as well, if we see a kid that's like covering their ears, scared, nobody, as long as they see that kid is not going to rev their motor, they're not going to scare your kid. That's not who. Like, they want them to love the bike, not be scared of it. Some bikes are loud. Like, they hurt my
help
ears.
It. Yeah, you can't help it. Because they say, loud pipes save lives. So that's
we just said lives the same way. She's rubbing off on me. Lives.
So this weekend is Freedom Fighters Forum.
Yes, and we were going to talk about the keynote speaker. She pulled it up because that's the one thing I didn't have a chance to get to, but it's Dick Gilmore, and he goes by Slider.
Dick Slider Gilmore found himself lying on asphalt after a motorcycle crash in the mid-1980s. He realized something then that would have to change the course of his life. An emergency personnel trying to assist him had no idea what they were dealing with. The experience left a deep impression, not just because of the pain and the trauma, but because of the utter lack of specialized knowledge on how to handle a motorcycle accident. So who Dick is, he is, hang on, I've got it here somewhere. So he teaches riders to save lives, basically. He is the one who did, he's the main man behind the motorcycle emergency training. And he's actually been inducted into the Motorcycle Hall of Fame. And he's also been, he goes to Sturgis every year and does, he speaks there. He does seminars and everything at Sturgis.
And that's the type of people that are brought to the Freedom Fighters, especially when it's not election year. When it's election year, they try as best they can. Anybody that's running for a state position, they try their best to get them in there because we want to hear every side because it's what's right for the bikers. We're not looking at your party. We're looking at, okay, are you going to work with us? Are you going to make our lives hell? Or what is your goal? And what is your plan as far as helping the bikes out? Because that is what we are for. Now,
and it's people like Slider who come to these meetings, they talk, and they teach you something that
you don't know.
Yeah, that is very, very helpful. And it also allows the legislators that are coming in that are coming into the Freedom Fighters forums like this to see that it's people like him, that are there to help, and it's not just crazy. I forgot to check the phone out.
That's all right.
It's not just crazy motorcycle bikers, whatever. What he teaches is very important.
It's an educational program,
and he doesn't teach it just to the bikes. He teaches it. He's taught it to.
I'm rubbing off.
Yes, now I think I need to just.
He speaks to everybody. He'll speak pretty much, I think, anywhere that will listen.
Or invite him in to talk about it.
Because his goal is to help with the motorcycles.
Drawing on his background in basic life support, BLS training, which he had been involved in since the 1970s, Slider saw a critical need for targeted education. Not only did he want to empower EMTs and first responders, but he also aimed to provide motorcyclists with the tools and knowledge they needed to help themselves and their fellow riders in the event of an accident. In 1986, he launched what would become a pioneer initiative in the motorcycle emergency training.
I'm sorry, so you need help with the word.
Yeah, two-wheel trauma, TWT. So that's something that you all can look up to, two-wheel trauma, TWT, and look up Dick Slider Gilmore, and just read about him. I mean, he sounds like a pretty amazing person.
And that's something too with the KMA. I was just thinking about this. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but if you don't have to ride for us to put a ride together for you to help you out, is if it's something that's in need, it's on our hearts and stuff. We're actually talking to somebody right now about setting something up that's not familiar with bikes, because that is what the KMA is about.
Help.
The KMA is very big in the community. And like I said, it is we are political, because it is for bikers' rights. Now, does it seem like we reach out to one party more? Yes. However, everybody that runs for an office is reached out to. That is one thing our vice director is very firm on. He is very adamant. He wants us to know. We just had
Be informative. He wants to be.
Well, we just had Candy in here, Massaroni, that she won her election, and anybody that is running for something for our counties, our
She's
state,
a state representative.
Yeah, she's a state representative. That is what we get involved in, and it has nothing to do with the party. So I want to be very clear on that, because we always say we're not getting political.
Yeah. And even though, and just like she said, even though KMA is a political group, because it is to fight for the bikers' rights, so that's what makes it political.
Yeah, you have to get involved.
Yes, we want to make sure that whoever is in office will hear the biker community, will support the biker community, is there for the biker community, whoever that may be. And again, like you said, it's not a party either way.
It's not about the parties. It's about who's there for us.
Support us,
well,
the biker
and
community.
We've had Democrats, Republicans. We have had independents in here to speak at our meetings. And we had one in here. I do not remember his name, but as he spoke, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, do you realize you're talking to a group of bikers? Like, because the stuff he was saying, I was like, you are not going to get our vote. Like, you could tell he was kind of wishy-washy.
Yeah.
And but we want people involved with this, because like I said,
the more you know, the more you know.
And you don't have, the one great thing I love is you do not have to agree with somebody else's politics to be in this association, because we're all here for one reason. And that is for bikers and their rights, and for motorcycle safety. So that is super important. I just really want that known, because we've had people come into our meetings and stuff, and it seems like we lean more one way. We all have a way of thinking, but we are all very open to. And that's one thing I do love, because if I have questions about politics, you can always talk to our vice director. He knows everything when it comes to politics. And he's not one way or the other. He will tell you both sides like it is. And that's something I think is really hard right now, because there is so much misinformation and it gets brought into the actual information. And I think that's very hard, because I don't know how much you research with politics and stuff.
I don't. I stay away from politics.
Well,
I hate
if
all
I'm going to vote,
politics.
I research who I'm voting for. That's all I do.
Yeah.
But it's so hard because of the misinformation that's in the information.
That is so true, because my husband, and I blame media on that, because my husband has, for whatever reason, has decided he freaking loves politics now. And that is what our TV is on 24/7. But he's got this station that has different news things, like a square here, and it's all different news channels
that he watches.
But each one of them will say something different.
Yes.
And I'm like, what are you, like, turn that shit off. Why are you watching this?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm the type, I always say I'm an independent, because I am. It's just what it is, because I like to listen to everything. Do I lean more one way? Yes. However, I don't vote party. I vote human.
Well, and that's what he says. He says, how do you know what's going on in our world if you don't watch this stuff? I said, clearly they don't know what's going on in our world. Like
Justin said that they're pat on the back for Sean
Safaro.
That's how you say it.
Safaro.
But yeah, because Sean is
That
our
is
vice
the
director.
Vice director, yes.
And he, every meeting,
he is very, very informative.
And that's something else in our meetings for KMA. All the offices will speak. So the secretary will go over the minutes of the last meeting and things going on. Our treasurer will go over how much money we have, where the money has gone, if there's less than it should be there. And there's always receipts, and you are more than welcome to know that is what it's about.
Mhm.
That's why they're so open about it at meetings. And everybody is welcome at a meeting.
Now, correct me
The-
if I'm wrong, or you all correct me if I'm wrong. The money that is raised that does not go to a benefit, that is
Mhm.
raised because, like, there is the PAC fund run
Mhm.
that is set aside specifically for the KBA district, that Clark
Mhm.
district. Every district has a PAC fund run.
Yeah.
That is to help
With the politics. With
yes,
the,
like with the lobbyists,
Mhm.
getting the information out to not only us but others, making sure that we do have somebody at Frankfurt that is lobbying for
the
our
bikers.
rights. Yeah.
And then we have the vice director, and he is all about politics. And I speak for our group because I do not go to other groups' meetings, unfortunately. But there's 19 of them, and it's all across Kentucky. There's no way.
Yeah.
But our vice director,
But I mean, that could probably be an interesting thing. Like, I mean, maybe we could do that.
venture off.
sometime.
But so the vice director, he's all about politics, knows the ins and outs of everything. That's Sean. And then our director, he will talk
Too
about
much sometimes.
yeah, we'll get stuck on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then our director will talk about like we're getting ready to start scheduling our rides for the year, and just what's going on, the rides, what he needs, what the group needs,
What's been brought up
yeah.
at Congress, in Congress, stuff like that.
Justin said meetings are open to the public and very open and informative if anyone wants to see what it's about.
Yes.
So with that, as much as it's welcoming, because it is, when you come, if you know we're in a meeting, be respectful of the meeting, because we also have like a moment of silence, and we have prayer, we do the pledge. We just be respectful of those things. Like when we're talking, do you, whatever. But during those times, please be respectful.
Well, still pay attention, even if somebody else is talking. I mean, still pay attention. I think it's very.
And plus,
rude
if I
when
hear
you're
you
not
talk,
talking.
I squirrel and I can't listen to two things, but I try. I'll mix conversations.
Sometimes she doesn't even have to hear you talk to squirrel.
Mm-mm.
She's gonna squirrel anyway.
Me squirrel? No, I don't squirrel. I actually have a patch coming in.
That is her road name, squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. Which is very, very, very true. I will never deny
Extremely.
that I squirrel off a lot. But which I've had no sleep too because of my cousin. So
that's you never have any sleep.
no, I am horrible at sleep. If anybody's got any clues on how to get some sleep that's not going to make me tired the next day, please let me know. I've tried everything and nothing works. So if it's the same thing as everybody else is trying, it ain't gonna work. Which I haven't been able to eat either because of my teeth. So that's been a nightmare too. But
a lot of it too. Drink some soup.
Yeah, that sounds good. Some broth.
Yeah.
Some broth. That sounds good. Sorry. Look, she squirreled too. Ha ha. Poor Danny's over here rolling. But that well, and when we go on our rides, they're always made public and everything's always out there. When we go on our rides, if you are new
on the KBA page,
yes, on the KMA KBA page, if you are new to riding and you come and join in, we always have a meeting prior to our ride to let you know what's going on. But you are always welcomed. The only
you are always welcome, but I do want to throw this out here because there has been a time or two where there has been a misunderstanding of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said before, KBA is not an MC, it's not an RC, it is a organization. So if you're coming in and you're looking for the brotherhood, sisterhood, that type of thing, yes, that is what you're going to get here. But what you're not going to get is if you are running your mouth to Joe Blow down the road and then you come and say, oh, my brothers and sisters are going to come in and jump you for me. No, they're not. You just lied to Joe Blow because that ain't happening.
Yeah, we're not like that.
Yeah.
But, the only time you are not welcome in our rides is if you are dangerous. If you're passing, you're not supposed to pass. When we leave out, the director and anybody holds office, they go first. The blockers come next, then the riders. And that's something else we have a problem with. People cut into blockers, mm-hmm. which there are bandanas that are tied to the back of our bikes that let you know this is a blocker. So do not. We've had a woman, I don't know if you remembered or if you were on that ride, but she tried to wreck us because, she kept cutting us off. And I was like, what in the hell is going on? Mm-hmm. That is one thing just that we don't like. If you're dangerous, don't come. If you don't want to respect don't pass, don't act like an idiot, don't come. because we don't want wrecks on our rides.
They just like to ride and again enjoy the scenery, enjoy.
And the only wreck we've had on our rides that I can recall, like in the past year or two, which Drew broke his arm that one year, but the man that went flipping on 31 through that yard.
Oh, that was Timmy.
Was it Toomey?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did not go on an ambulance, but he should have.
He came back down here.
Yeah, he came here.
Oh,
Because he was knocked out.
I
mean, he was knocked out because I was sitting there like
and
trying to roll him on his side.
I was like, Toomey, let me get you like cleaned up. And he's like, I'm all right.
Let me
it's
tell
just a
you-
little cut as he's gushing of blood.
When I jumped off our bike, because I do have a little bit of training, when I jumped off our bike and I was running to him, I did not know who it was. I couldn't see it because he was behind his bike. I just knew somebody was hurt bad, because we seen the dust and we seen how him flipping, and we didn't know who it was. And when we were up there, he was knocked out. And when he started coming to, of course, he started throwing up. And I was trying to get him onto his side, but you have to roll him all together. You can't just like roll part of him because if he's got a spinal injury or
Right,
something,
if he's hurt, it would make it worse.
But that is, if something like that happens to you, you are going to have a crowd around you that's going to help you. Anything that we can do to help you. When Justin and I wrecked, there was a ride the very next weekend for kids. We made it to that ride. We still have the wrong fender on our bike, but we had people come together. They rebuilt our shocks because our shocks were blown. They put everything back together for our bike, and that is how it is here. I mean,
that's the brotherhood and the sisterhood that you receive.
Yes, and is there people here that aren't friendly? Yes, I mean that's everywhere.
That's everywhere you go.
But the majority of everybody that is in our district is phenomenal. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy it. But
it gives you a way to be a part of something without all of the rules
and the laws,
the regulations, and
with the KMA, I mean, like a lot of MCs would hate how my vest is sitting here, but we wanted you to see this is the KMA logo. That way, if you see our patch, come up to us. If you want to talk to us
if you've
about
got questions, ask.
I've had bikers at gas stations see our patch and ask, what we were, and I would explain it to them and stuff. And I had 3 people join one time because they were on one of our rides, and I sat and spoke to them. And it was right after I made Sergeant at Arms. I was so sad that I lost that in January, but they went down to 1 Sergeant at Arms in every district, so that broke my heart. But
you could still, talk to people just like before. That's
just who I am. But they came to our next meeting and they all 3 joined. But that's, we love to talk about what the KMA is, and we want you to join. There is that fee of $20 that really just helps keep the KMA afloat. It is to fight for your rights on that motorcycle.
Yes.
That money, that is what that goes to. It is not, anytime there is a fun run or a pack fun run that we do, anytime there is a ride for a benefit or anything, you will know how much money was raised, where that money went, and what happened as far as, like, sometimes when we do the 50-50, a lot of people donate their winnings back. That every bit of that's wrote down. So there's never a question.
There's always track of it.
There's never a question in the KMA about where your money goes, what you are fighting for, nothing. It is very open.
But again, as we said before, it is a political group because it is not an MC, it is not an RC. They do talk with different senators and everything and lobbyists to make sure that you as a motorcycle rider have your rights.
And if you all are watching and you can think of something we're missing as far as the KMA, please let us know. Because that is what this is for, because
we want to be informative. Riding season is just right around the corner. We thought this was the perfect time to bring up the KMA, KBA because of the Freedom Fighters Forum that is going on this weekend in Rough River. Again, you talked about that, where everybody, all of the KMA of Kentucky, they gather around.
And if you are a bike enthusiast and you love motorcycles, join us. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and runs till I think 5 o'clock.
9 to 5. And again, that's at Rough River.
Don't ask me. I just know it's in Rough River.
Yeah, I think I've got the address here somewhere.
If you go on to our website, it's right there.
Yeah.
But everybody's welcome at that. And I will say this: if you stand firm on your politics and you only vote one way, you're gonna have to step off that horse, because we are open to everybody. Because the whole purpose of this is for the bikers. So it does not matter Democrat, Republican, Independent, what is it, green something?
I have no idea.
know?
Again, I'm not one to talk to about politics.
They keep making things up, so I can't ever keep up with them all. But
I'm just
and
trying
I
to
don't know
find
why,
the
because everybody
address.
usually votes one way or the other.
Just
But
finding the address.
but
450 Lodge Road in Rough River. But
isn't that our cabin?
no, that's the
Okay,
lodge.
I thought she was telling everybody where we're staying this weekend.
That's the
Goodness
lodge.
gracious.
That's where the lodge
Yeah,
is,
it's in a
because we've got to go
lodge.
there first.
But it's always it's awesome. So Justin put, joining also has several perks and benefits like the $2,500 life insurance, and also options for other discounted insurances. So yeah, there is things that help as far as your stat flight. There's so much to look into. There's more benefits to joining the KMA, and you don't have to be active. We have a few hundred members
to be active.
Yes, we
but
prefer you be active, because that's how you support the MC.
And
the
that's how-
MC
no, we're not
motorcycle
an
group. Wow.
we're not an MC.
We're not an MC. I'm so sorry. But that is how you support us. But even we have those few hundred that are in Hogtown, in our District 12. But we also have really big rides with a lot of bikes. I remember one time I counted like 87 bikes on one of our rides. And it was just phenomenal to watch all the bikers come through and be supportive of each other.
And again, I mean, this is at Long Branch is a great place to come and meet them, because most of the time they're here all the time, riding season or not. There are several downstairs right now.
I think,
I
think really the only time you will see, I don't hear his mouth.
Oh,
but
I know he was commenting earlier.
I think the only time that you will see any kind of anger come from a member of the KMA is if you endanger one of them. And that you do not have to be a member for us to stand up for you if somebody endangers your life, because that's just who we are. I mean, I think the reason I got sergeant at arms is because there was a lady in an SUV that almost took out a biker, and I stepped in front of the SUV because all we were doing was parking. And if there's an incline, there's a different way a bike has to park. Well, she just kept pulling up on this bike to where he could not park. So I just stepped in front of her SUV and like stood there, and she like kept giving me a dirty look and blew her horn at me. I'm like, there's a bike in your way anyway.
Yeah.
But she was literally riding up on his
making
bumper.
it harder.
Yeah, he couldn't back up.
I mean, even for a vehicle, you can't do that. Like, just don't be that douche.
No, and we'll explain to you, like, because some people are motorcycle ignorant. We get it. And I say ignorant, not stupid, because it's not knowing. It's not knowing. Ignorant is not knowing. Stupid is knowing and not caring. But a lot of people are motorcycle ignorant. And I was. I mean, until you start riding, it's hard to explain it. And I think that's why we say everybody's welcome at meetings and stuff, because you do not have to ride to be a member to support us.
Well, no, it's like I said, there is people that are in vehicles. They come down in their vehicles. They stay, they have a thing now where it is adopt a biker. If you're in your vehicle and you see a biker maybe in front of you or whatever, keep that distance and
keep them safe.
Keep them safe. Yeah. Don't let another car swing in, or come up on their side or anything. Just kind of, you don't have to hover them. That's not what that is. But just keep them safe. Keep them safe from the.
I was in a vehicle
and stay back far enough from them to where that's safe. You're safe.
Stay close enough to keep them safe, far enough, like let them know you're paying attention to them. And trust me, they won't care how close you get because they know you're paying attention to them. But I was following in a vehicle. I don't remember why I was in a vehicle, but I was following a group of bikers, and I was pretty close to them. And I had a woman; she was going to miss her exit, cut between us. Well, you know how big my SUV is. I got in the other lane, went around this woman, and I pushed her out into the safety lane. And I was like, "You're going to endanger bikers. I'm going to not give a shit about you."
Right.
Because she almost took out. I cannot remember. It might have been Justin that was in the back, but she almost took him out, and I was pissed. Because that's one thing you don't do. Don't endanger one of our their family members don't endanger them.
Yeah, because
Especially my husband,
and
because
when
I
you're-
will throw down for that.
you're in a vehicle. They're on a bike. I just don't understand why people why that's so hard to understand.
Yeah, and the problem is we are so friendly, but then people, provoke bikers and stuff, and then you just get the negative.
Mhm.
That is one thing that aggravates the piss out of me. You should not get aggravated because a biker is,
trying to
trying to
protect.
stay safe. But with that, you're more than welcome. What did you say the address was? For something, 450,
420.
420. It was not 420.
It was not.
No, you got something else on your mind. Easter, right?
Easter.
It's Easter.
It is Easter.
I think you said 450 or 480 or
I got it
something.
here somewhere. Hang on.
Sorry.
Oh, 450 Lodge Road, Rough
450
River.
Lodge Road.
But what I was saying is, when you Googled it, it pulled up something else. What did it pull up? It is Rough River. It is 450 Lodge Road, but you pulled up something else.
Dustin, make sure we're right on that. I don't know what it pulled up when I pulled it up. It just gave me directions, remember?
Yeah, but I thought it pulled up another.
did.
It said something else
It
besides
said-
Rough River.
I think
it is in Rough River.
it's
Yes.
Something of the rough. It didn't come out Rough River. Shoot. I'll tell you right now because I don't want you all to not know where to get.
Google that again. And then the phone number to the lodge, if you are interested in booking a room or something, is
Falls of Rough.
270.
Sorry, Falls of Rough.
Falls of Rough. Okay. So it is in Rough River, but it may also be under Falls of Rough. Again, the phone number is 270-257-2311. That is to the lodge, to where you can reserve a room if you're interested in coming and checking out what the Freedom Fighters is about. Or if you want to just
what's the number again?
270-257-2311. Again, that is to the lodge that the Freedom Fighters Forum is going to be at.
District 12, our meetings are at Long Branch Saloon. If you
the third Sunday of every month.
And if you get confused on the like when the date would be, what time, whatever, you can always call the Long Branch Saloon. These women are amazing. If they don't know, they'll find out. Because sometimes our meetings do have to change for like Father's Day, something like that.
Yeah.
So
Holidays
we've had our meetings have to change every now and then. So if you are wanting to join or wanting to just come be a part of,
or if you've got questions,
reach out to one of us.
Again,
we are all very
there's
open
always
about it.
somebody here that can give you information about the KMA, KBA. So all you have to do is just come
Reach out
in and talk.
And what is the address for Long Branch Saloon?
It is 135 South Main Street, New Haven, Kentucky. You can't miss us. We are New Haven is a very,
if
very
you blink,
small.
you'll miss New Haven.
Yeah, it's a very small town. One red light, literally, and we're a saloon.
And you're right by the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
That's how I always remember. If you go over the railroad tracks, if you're coming one way, you've gone too far. If you go another, you've
gone too far.
Yeah. So it's right by the railroad tracks, and you cannot miss the front of your all's bar.
Yeah,
It
like I said, I mean,
looks like
it's a saloon. It's
So,
legitimately a saloon.
But there is and
we
then
have a few member papers. Yes, we do have a few member papers, Trish.
membership papers.
Membership papers here at Long Branch. If you are interested in becoming a KBA, KMA member, again.
And we have pamphlets.
Yes.
And things.
There's information everywhere. You can get information pretty much anywhere.
The website.
We do have the membership papers here.
Yeah. So, I mean, just join us. You don't have to be political to care about what bikers' rights are.
And
you're supporting us. That's what matters. So come and join us for either the Freedom Fighters this weekend. Our meeting will be the third Sunday in February at 1:00 at Long Branch Saloon.
135 South Main Street, New Haven, Kentucky.
And what is the phone number here?
502-286-7004. And we will put that in the comments.
We'll make sure to add that to the comments.
Yes, we'll make sure to add that to the comments as well.
And then that way, if you have questions, you want to join, let us know.
We'll
we are in our district. It's District 12, Hogtown. We're LaRue, Hardin, and Nelson. You do not have to be one of those counties to come to a meeting, get involved. We can let you know what district you would belong to. But if you want to be District 12, you can be District 12. You do not have to join just because your county is you're in another county. You can join.
Yep.
And we need members. We want members because it is so important to keep bikes safe.
It is.
And that's our
and
goal.
our rights. It's important to keep our rights safe.
And Justin just added a website for Hogtown. So there is
that is the District 12.
That is District 12. That is our district. But like I said, there's 19 chapters. So there's a lot. And if you are in Eastern Kentucky, Northern Kentucky,
Western Kentucky,
Southern Kentucky,
it don't matter.
Did I say Western? I think I said Western.
Did you? I thought you said Eastern.
No, I said
first.
Eastern. We're Western. We're not to the tip though.
We're in the central. Are we central?
We're like 40
Central?
minutes from Louisville, I think.
Yeah, we're Central Kentucky.
Yeah, and about an hour from Bowling Green. So we are, that is our counties that we do, but there are different counties. So you can get on the website, find the district that goes with you, message them because they will get back with you and let you know when their meeting is, what time it is, and they can give you a pamphlet when you come to the meeting, listen to the meeting, get involved in the meeting. Like I said, at our meetings, I explain to our meetings what we do. Always know where the money is. Our vice director
very informative.
He's very informative about politics, and it's every district is like that's how we run. And then that way we all stay informed. And like KMA we're an association. We just want bikers to be safe.
So we encourage you, if you're out there and you're listening, you like bikes, you like riding bikes, you are a biker enthusiast, get a hold of somebody clear near you, KBA, KMA.
And if you get confused, you can always message us.
Yeah, message us,
and we can guide you in the right direction. Our state director, Tommy Williams, is amazing. Our director, Daniel Boone, is amazing.
Yeah, very helpful, very informative.
Very informative. And they can help guide you to what you need to do. Like I said, there's, the $20 a year for a single, $30 for a couple to join our for a year. You do not have to join to come and be a part of our meetings and let us know. You do not have to be a part of the KMA to be a part of our.
You can try it out or come and listen first.
Well, and you don't have to be a part of the KMA to join our rides either.
Right.
You're supporting us being there. So that is also a difference too. You don't have to be a part of us to come and ride.
So we encourage you to come out, like I said, get information. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to one of us. Reach out to the KMA KBA website. It is in the comments. Justin Mason just posted that on there. There's also a KMA KBA Facebook page.
And if you just Google Kentucky Motorcycle Association, it will
give you information. If you're interested in coming and checking out the Freedom Fighters Forum.
I really did rub off on you.
I know, I was fine until
but it's the Freedom Fighters Forum, and it's at 450 Lodge Road in Rough River, and it'll probably pull up Falls of Rough. But that is where it's at. Join us. It's tomorrow 9 to 5. You can come at any time. If you're not there for the whole thing, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, you just want to be curious,
be respectful, and if you want to learn what we're about,
come on in, listen to Dick Slider Gilmore give his presentation. I think that'll be pretty awesome.
I do too. I mean, we enjoyed last year. But if you love bikes, love bikers, want to help us fight for our rights, look into the KMA. Even if you don't ride, just look into the KMA and support us.
And as always, you can always follow me and Kristen on Facebook under Long Branch Talks. We are on Instagram, Long Branch Talks. We are on YouTube.
iHeart,
Spotify,
and TikTok
and
staying.
Spreaker.
So it's Amber and Kristen on TikTok.
Yes, if we don't get banned,
it says it's staying.
Is it?
It says so.
That'll be cool if it is. Amber and Kristen on TikTok. And Long Branch Talks on all of the other ones. Again, we are on iHeart, we are on Spotify, we're on Spreaker, we're on YouTube. So follow us. And
like, share, follow. That is how we grow. This is, this is our dream. And through the summer, we will have more podcasts as far as bikes go, bike safety, what's going on. So we'll try to be informative as well.
So make sure that you follow along. And if you have a biker in your family. If you're a biker, then
Let them know about
join.
the Kentucky Motorcycle Association.
Let them know about our podcast.
Yeah.
And until the end, next time, guys, we will see you all. Talk to you all next Friday or
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday.
Don't forget Thoughtful Thursdays.
Mhm.
So, all right, we'll see y'all later.